Hello everybody, welcome back. This is JudiciousFire, and I am on the iOS server. I'm going to be looking at the top 5 insignias in Castle Clash. Prior to this video, I did top 5 talents in Castle Clash. You'll see that each of these talents is based, of course, on availability. If you don't have the insignia or the talent that I recommended in the prior video, then obviously you're going to have to go with what you have. So availability really does dictate our choices in this game. And two, playstyle. Your specific individualized playstyle is always going to be dictating your choices in this game. I don't think there's any right or wrong, black and white, yes or no in Castle Clash. It's really always a spectrum. So if you are a defensive player, if you are an offensive player, if you're a mix of both, then you're going to find that there's an entire array to choose from. And that's what I'm trying to represent in these videos. Each one of these insignias that I'm recommending, they will also make good talents. But I find that these insignia recommendations really are best in insignia form rather than talent form. I'll get into that as we go along. Let's take a look at the blue tab at the bottom. Pink and yellow book. We go to second tab, talent compendium. Every talent in the game and or crest and insignia. You can see them at every level and get a good feel for what the insignia is going to be doing in terms of its effects on your heroes. So let's look at the top 5 insignias. Very first insignia that I would be choosing. We have ourselves survival. Survival gives your hero the ability to heal. That heal is indispensable. When placed on a hero that already heals, you are now getting a double heal, thereby keeping your hero alive as long as possible. Survival, in terms of the noun, survival is something that is absolutely essential in today's game. And survival, in terms of the insignia, is something that really gives you max benefit. Now at 8, you're going to get a health boost, a regain of health to 1700%, as well as damage negation. Take no damage at all for 3 out of 7.5 seconds. Remember cooldowns in this game. 7.5 second cooldown. You deduct the amount of time that the talent or insignia is operating. So 7.5 second cooldown, 3 of those seconds, this damage negation will be occurring. So for only 4.5 seconds, you'll be taking damage. Game changer. Now look at 9. We still get 3 seconds of damage negation, and we get 300% extra health regain. A minimal difference between 8 and 9. And this is why I would recommend survival always as an insignia. You really don't get that benefit from taking it to 9. Keep it at 8 as an insignia. Let's move on. We've got ourselves Iron Will. Iron Will is one of those insignias that is going to provide an attack boost, certainly, and that's very beneficial. But at level 8, it's going to provide full stun, fear, and energy reduction immunity. This can make all the difference in game modes, such as dungeons especially, to prevent your heroes, to prevent your Pumpkin Duke, to prevent your Anubis, to prevent your Cupid from getting stunned. Can make the difference and can get you through those harder dungeons. Now, the difference between 8 and 9 is 4 seconds of extra stun immunity and a little bit of extra damage. I would not necessarily recommend taking this to level 9. It's one thing if you're running Insane Dungeons 8 well, then maybe that's what you want to do. I'm doing that on several heroes as I make my way through Insane Dungeons 8. But for the majority of game modes, an Iron Will in Insignia form has plenty ability to do what it does best, grant immunity to these conditions in battle that tend to shut your heroes down. This can keep your heroes alive, well, and operating their skill, which is what we want in an insignia. Third insignia that I would recommend, Empower. Now look at the difference between 8 and 9. There is a big difference. You go from 33 energy per second at level 8 to 45, but you also get a health boost of 40%. Now, the reason I do not recommend Empower as a talent at level 9, but rather an insignia at level 8, is the following. The heroes, for the most part, the heroes that they release in Castle Clash have a cooldown. The majority of old heroes, the first edition, if you will, they have no cooldown. And Empower can be very beneficial. But in the heroes that they release today, that cooldown prevents your hero from activating its skill again and again and again. That cooldown will be a resting period. When you have Empower at 9, you are generating too much energy. You will see that your hero, your modern day hero's energy bar fills up completely, but the hero doesn't activate its skill. It has to wait and rest until that cooldown has ceased to function. So, with Empower at 8, you will find in insignia form that you are creating enough energy to continue to activate your skill regardless of that cooldown without wasting the energy that would be gained at level 9. I run an Empower on every auto proc hero in insignia form. I have Empower on not a single hero at level 9 because I would just simply max out on energy and it would be of no benefit. I ran in the companion video to this top 5 talents. I ran a couple of hero trials. I ran a couple of Here Be Monsters. Here's a full Empower team, all in insignia form, and we've got ourselves at L9 an 8-second victory. Do we have any Here Be Monsters left? No, we have no Here Be Monsters left. Oh, that's fine. But you get the point. The running of, and we're looking at insignias now, down at the bottom left-hand corner. Running an Empower on any auto proc hero, especially in a Guild Wars-based defense scenario, can make all the difference. If Ronin is troubling you, you can take out Ronin with an Empower on an auto proc hero. None of your heroes have to be directly under attack. People come in from the sides, all of a sudden they get knocked out. That is because of the Empower. Okay, I'm going to go with Revitalize as our 4th choice in terms of insignias that are highly recommended in this game. Revitalize is about as old school a town as you can possibly get. Back in the day, if you had a Revite 5 on your Ares, you would be the king of Arena. If you had a Revite 5 on your Cupid, you felt blessed and lucky. If you had a Revite 5 on your Pumpkin Duke, you were flying through those elite dungeons like it was nobody's business. You were sweeping that 40 shard dungeon five times a piece every time it refreshed. Revite gives your heroes the ability to activate their skill immediately. Now, by immediately, I mean the following. With the exception of a few heroes, your hero actually has to hit something. Okay, so you can have a Revite on a hero the majority of the time, and it will require your hero performing one attack. So if you've got a Revite on your Anubis, Anubis The first time he hits, attacks, he will get a skill activation. Revite, I would recommend at the level 8 insignia form because of the following. At level 8, you get 100% energy gain, you get a nice attack boost. At level 9, still 100% energy gain, a little bit more attack. We're not after the attack with Revite. We're after the 100% energy at the start of battle. And you see that does not change through all of the various levels, from 5 all the way up to 9. Because we're after the 100% energy at the start of battle, it is plenty to have it in insignia form. So if you have that availability, run Revite as an insignia. I go to heroes that are often paired with a Revitalize. Cupid, who I'm using in Insane 8 right now, I've got the Iron Will at 9 because I need that extra stun immunity. But a Crest, Insignia, I've got the 8. There's another person who often have, like a Michael, instant skill activation, instant buff to the team. Where's PD? PD, instant skill activation, instant buff to the team. Ares, anybody who you want firing off immediately. Even somebody like a Heartbreaker that I'm using in a Warden challenge right now, instantly reducing the attack ability of the enemy the moment Heartbreaker fires. If you are going to be using Revitalize, and again, I highly recommend it, please look at the skill description on your heroes. A hero such as, and this is just what comes to my mind immediately, a hero such as Dread Drake has a built-in Revitalize. Somebody like a Harpy Queen, you don't need a Revitalize. I would think somebody like a Gunslinger. Gunslinger is going to put out those copters right away. Using a Revitalize, yeah, you'll still get the brief damage bonus, but it is not the most effective use of an energy surplus talent such as Revite. So be careful on what heroes you put a Revite. Read that skill description and make sure that you are clear as to whether or not you're using the talent or the insignia most effectively. Very good. There's 4, and for the 5th one, I'm going to lump 3 together into one category. One recommendation. You have your favor talents. Now, the favor talents, and in the companion video, I recommended as a, the favor insignias, I recommended as a talent Sunder. Sunder at level 9 is worth it. It will provide the most number of hits in battle. It will increase your DPS or damage per second in any capped damage mode. And the majority of game modes in Castle Clash have a damage cap. Saint's Favor will provide those extra hits, the opportunity for extra hits. And it is very effective against those enemies that fall into one of the categories of an Oracle, Saint, or Brawler faction. But because Sunder gives you one extra hit, that opportunity for an extra hit, as well as not being reduced to simply having to fight one enemy of a different Warden faction, Sunder is the best choice at level 9. But if you want to pair Sunder as a talent with one of these favor talents of a Warden faction at level 8, you will find that you are getting those max scores in Archdemon, max scores in damage cap modes. I go to somebody like my Archdemon team. 9 Sunder, using her in a different manner right now, I would probably go with an 8 Brawler's Favor. Beast Tamer, if I'm running like an Archdemon, if I'm going against goblins, bosses, an 8 Brawler's Favor, matched with the Sunder. If I'm going into one of those damage cap modes, an 8 Brawler's Favor matched with the Sunder. The reason I'm choosing Brawler's Favor is the following. Of the 3 favor talents, and they're all beneficial. They're all going to max out your damage. They're all going to give you that those extra hits, that opportunity. But let's look at it at 8. Saint's Favor. You deal 680% attack damage. Oracle's Favor. You deal 680% attack damage. Now go to Brawlers. 680% attack damage. It is the difference between, we're looking at base damage. It is the difference between some percentage in battle. You can get a better base damage. I'm not talking about bonus damage. I'm not talking about number of hits in combat. There is a better base damage multiplier with Brawler's Favor. If you ever go, and I've done a couple of these, you check out some Archdemon battle videos. You take a look at some of the Labyrinth goblins that are being fought by Castle Clash YouTubers. Take a look at some of those videos that feature players getting 10 billion damage on the Archdemon. They are running Sunder main, Brawler's Favor in an 8 Insignia form. Higher base damage. Here we are. It's exactly calculated and quantified for you when placed on a hero. Look at the sword. We see with this Brawler's Favor a 7,177 attack damage when using Brawler's Favor. Let's switch that. Switch it to Oracle's Favor. 5892. We just lost 1,500. Change it again. Saint's Favor. 5290. Let's jump back. 7177. So while the percentage of damage appears on paper to be the same, the base damage is at a minimum 1,500 more per attack with Brawler's Favor. So all 3 are beneficial. But if you have to choose one over the other, I would go with Brawler's Favor for its extra attack damage provided at the level 8 Insignia form. These 5, do a quick review here. We have 3 faction talents. When paired in Insignia form with a Sunder, you're going to be knocking out Archdemons like it's nobody's business. Damage cap modes are the most plentiful mode in Castle Clash. Be able to deal with that by putting out max DPS. Survival, not a big difference between 8 and 9, so keep it at 8 and give your heroes the opportunity to negate damage and to heal themselves. Works even on a healer, giving a double heal. Iron Will, stop your heroes from being stunned. Stun in a dungeon mode, stun will stop you from succeeding. Iron Will give you the opportunity to succeed and to make advancement in the dungeons. Empower, give every auto proc hero the ability to activate its skill without being under direct attack. I would go so far as to say one of the most important base defense insignias that you can possibly have. At 9, it's so much energy that the heroes with a cooldown, and that's the majority of heroes in today's game, cannot use that amount of energy. So keep it at 8 in insignia form. Revitalize, the ability to activate your skill immediately in combat. That skill activation can make all the difference. Often in this game, the ones that proc first, laugh last, okay? So you will see the difference in all player versus player modes. Lost Battlefield, something like something like Labyrinth, and you're going to find that you all of a sudden take out the most of the team, if not the entire team, at the very start of battle. So we've got our brawlers, we've got our survival, we've got our stun immunity with the Iron Will, we've got our ability to auto proc again and again and again with our Empower, and we have the ability to immediately activate our skill in battle, typically with the first hit with the Revitalize. So these are game-changing insignias. I would highly recommend those. Again, there's no black and white in Castle Clash. There are multiple shades of gray. There is a spectrum out there. And you have to decide through your own gameplay and repetition. Playing this game again and again, you have to decide what your style is. Your style, of course, the availability of insignias and talents for you is always going to dictate your choices. One final note, and I say it in so many videos, I just want to say it one more time. We are not trying to make heroes that are good at a lot of things. We're trying to make heroes that are great at one or two things. Read the skill description, discuss it with your guildmates, your friends in battle, or your friends in Castle Clash. Let's take Demogorgon, for example. He does a lot of things. A lot of things. But the best thing that he does is he blinds the enemy. A blinded enemy can't attack. A blinded enemy can't hit you. A blinded enemy can't do you damage. I run a Sacred Light or a Wicked Armor. One attack, one defensive talent on every one of my heroes. I run a Revite for immediate skill activation, or I run a Survival to allow him to heal. Why? So he can keep that blind going, to keep him alive. So I am not trying to make a Demogorgon that's great at all things. I'm trying to make a Demogorgon that's better at what he does best, and that is the blind. So reason that we have all of these legendary heroes to choose from, dozens and dozens and dozens of legendary heroes. There is a reason that every hero has a lengthy and or complex skill description. It is because the programmers of this game are trying to make unique heroes. Heroes that do something that other heroes don't do. Find that thing that your hero does best and make that even better. Your gameplay will benefit from it. Your success rate will skyrocket. Get 6 specialists on one team, and all of a sudden you've got a nearly unbeatable team. So please think about these recommendations, whether they be talents, insignias, and see if it doesn't work for your play style. In my experience, playing these different game modes and being an active everyday player of Castle Clash, these are the choices that I make on a daily basis. And it has helped me in my gameplay, and I hope it helps you with yours. All right, everybody, I'll check you on the next video. Bye-bye.